Hello everyone, this is In-Game Art with another boxing to break down the demo. This is Middle-earth Shadow of War, the definitive edition for the PlayStation 4. Now this is the PAL version of the game, so we'll just jump right into it. This comes with the 4 main release DLCs all on disc, so you will have the 2 main expansions as well as the 2 Orc Tribe DLCs on disc, as well as it comes with the original base campaign as well. Now, this comes with 1.16 version on disc, but sadly there was a good size update around 500 megabytes that will take you up to 1.18 since the current making of this video. As I said, this is the PAL version, and the PAL version comes with 2 discs with all the information on it. Now what you need to do is you need to pop in disc 2 and install all the information. The install will go up to about halfway and then request it you take it out and pop in the disc 1. When you do that, Disk 1 will complete the install, and then you will never have to swap out discs again. Disk 1 can be looked at as your play disk, while Disk 2 can be looked at as your install disk. Nextly, if you happen to buy the original version, or the vanilla version, or if you bought the American Definitive Edition of the game, sadly, if you were trying to buy this version and wanted to upgrade with all the content on disc, you will have to start your save file all over. The save file will not be able to transfer over. I'm sorry for those who may want that. Next I want to bring up about is the update version 1.16, which is on disc, and why this update's very important and why it's really good that it's on disc. Update 1.16 removes the microtransaction system and fixes a lot of the grind that the previous vanilla version launched back in day 1. Now, if you don't know, back when the game launched, it had a microtransaction system where it required to do a lot of grinding if you didn't make real-life purchases to upgrade faster and get better gear quicker. What this was a problem was is that if you want to get the best true ending of the game, it required you to either spend money or do a lot of grinding to achieve the true real ending to the game. Now this was really wrong because it's almost trying to encourage you every step of the way to spend real money than what you've already spent just to get the true ending of the game. That's why Update 1.16 is really good to be on disc, because it removes that content and feature. So now you have a better, pure and truer version of the original idea the developers were going with before money grubbing got involved into the game. So that's why it's really good that 1.16 is on disc, so that way we will always have the true version of the game to protect and preserve. Now, to the game, if you're not aware, the game is a lot like Assassin's Creed mixed with Arkham Asylum. It has the same kind of combat system of Arkham, but it has the stealth as well as exploration that Assassin's Creed is well known for. Now, if you're not aware of these games, you can basically approach something as how you choose to. You can go in there all stealthy, or you can go in there just hack and slashing your way through everything, depending on the difficulty setting you choose, of course. But the important part is the game has the Nemesis System, and what makes this Nemesis System so good is it brings extremely powerful as well as interesting characteristics to the characters of just normal NPC enemies. Now, as there are certain ranks between them, you will have special cutscenes and interactions with these particular higher ranking grunts and enemies that will have special weaknesses as well as strengths. And as when you defeat them, they will drop better loot and gear or money and so forth to make your character stronger. These fights are really get you really involved in the game, and sometimes can be extremely challenging, especially if you're fighting 2 or 3 captains at the same time. As I said, it's all about strategy in this form when you want to fight one of them. You can go in there hacking slashing, but if you actually take the time to study and learn your enemy, your fight could be almost immediately won, as long as you know your enemy. And as I said, you can go in there hacking slashing, but generally you're going to be a quick death with that, because there's lots of variety of enemies and you cannot just keep swinging your way through it. Each one has a different way you got to approach it and learn who they are and the best way to take advantage of it. It's very rewarding in that field, and I greatly loved it in the first one, and they did a much better job in the sequel here. Now, as anyone knows who's been with the channel for a while, I'm not the biggest fan of open world games. Sadly, the game still falls to the same traps. It does get boring and repetitive pretty quickly, running around basically doing nothing and moving to the next quest here and there. But at least along the way you can fight some interesting NPCs occasionally here and there. But the game still suffers from how I feel about open world games being pretty boring and the exploration side of it. But the overall experience with the combat and everything is still pretty rewarding, and it's still one of the higher up open world games that I did enjoy. But what really helps is the story mode and the characters like the Ranger and everything. And the world of Lord of the Rings is so well made that it's really a good joy to go through it and enjoy it. So basically, if you know those games, or you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, or you're just looking for more story involved with the Lord of the Rings, you can get a good time with this game. It's fun with this, as well as you got the expansions, as well as the extra content that will provide more content to yourself and more fun with it. Now, the game is a bit violent on some aspects, so bear that in mind if you're a little bit more cringy about decapitations and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind. But for the overall experience and just having everything on disc, as well as a special PAL version, it's really nice. Now, I want to stop and talk about something. That there is the Ntsc version, which is the US version, as well as the PAL version. Why I wanted to stop and talk about this is that the American version, the Ntsc version, comes with one disc with a redeem code, and the disc is just a base vanilla version for $60. Now, the PAL version comes with 2 discs with all the content on disc, and it only charges for $40. Now, this is very aggravating because that just means that apparently it's more expensive to print a piece of paper with a code on it than it is to make 2 whole discs. Now, we both know that cannot be true. It's just really upsetting to see this money-grabbing tactic and taking advantage of customers who are just unknowledge, and especially with the fact with the gold edition that got released prior. It just seemed like a very money-scheming kind of thing they did, and I'm very disappointed in WB for what they did to release it here in the US, especially how well this version was for the PAL version. I highly recommend this version over the American version any day. This is one that's well worthy to put in your collection if you ever get the time, with a lot of content, a lot of features, and it's still fun. If you like these kinds of games, you have a lot of experience and good time with this. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad it's fully updated. I didn't experience any bugs or any problems in any form of that. So, thank you all for watching. I'll try to leave links down in the description if you're interested in a copy. And hit that like, subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye-bye!
Submit to your destiny. Bring him to me.
Get up, Ranger! You will not claim him today.